So tonight I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about virtual assistants and how they can literally change your entire life and make your life so much easier as a blogger, as a small business owner, as a mom, whatever it is that you are. Virtual assistants can completely change your life. So I have been asked a lot about virtual assistants and how I hired them, all sorts of things. So I kind of put together my most frequently asked questions when it comes to virtual assistants, and I just wanted to touch base on some of those. And if you have any questions along the way, let me know and I can answer some of those questions. I went to, hi! I went to a blog conference probably, I'm trying to think, it was Snap Conference 3 years ago, and I remember sitting in a class thinking it was all about hiring, and it was taught by Alyssa Circle, and she has her own blog, but she's also who founded Pollinate Media Group. And anyway, she taught it with her virtual assistant, and the room was just packed. Her virtual assistant's name is Sky. And they just talked about how they connected together, what Sky did for her. I mean, it was like literally the most life-changing class of all time. Well, then I went to the same class that they taught the following year, which I'm trying to remember if it was like this April or if it was last April that I went to their class. And it was basically the same thing. I was kind of hoping that it would be like a little bit more advanced of different things that you could have your virtual assistants do, but it was basically the same thing. So I'm going to kind of tell you guys maybe a few of the points that they made, what I've learned. I think the biggest question I get asked all the time is, how do you find a virtual assistant? So before you do that, you need to back it up and think about honestly what you want assisting with. So I actually think that this quote came from Shelley Smith, maybe. I'm trying to remember who it was. It was at a blog conference. They said something along the lines of, do your best, hire the rest. And that has completely stuck with me. Do your best, hire the rest. Whether that be if you, that doesn't have to just be pertaining your brand or your blog or your business, whatever it is. If you love doing everything with your brand or everything with your business, but you hate cleaning your house, then hire someone to clean your house. If cleaning is a therapeutic thing for you, or if that's something that you can't lose control of, then hire someone to do something else. But that's the beauty of it, is it is your brand, it is your blog, it is your business, and you can choose to do whatever you do best, and you can hire the rest. So what you need to do is you need to decide exactly what you want done. And for me, I'm a total control freak. And the thing that I took out of Alyssa and Sky's class the first time was, oh my gosh, yeah, that would be awesome to be able to hire someone to do your homework. I think that's called cheating. But is write down, make a list of everything that you need done. So for me, I'm trying to think, about 3 years ago, I was writing down things like taking care of my Facebook page, taking care of my Twitter account. I had to write my blog posts, I had to take the pictures, I had to edit the pictures, I wanted to start a newsletter, I had all of these things. At that point, I didn't want someone to come and clean my house. At this point, I lived in a pretty small house, and I was embarrassed that I couldn't keep up on my small house, and so I did not want to hire someone to do it for me. But so I made that list, and then after you make the list, then you need to number them from most important to least important for you, of what you think that you can possibly let go of. And for me, the top things that I could let go of, sorry, that was kind of like my light. The top things that I could let go of were my Facebook page, my Twitter account, and my newsletter. And so I decided, hey, I'm going to look and try to hire someone to do those things. So that brings me to my next point of how, this is another question I asked, how do you find a virtual assistant? So I just made a really simple graphic and posted it on my social media. I knew that I wanted to find someone who didn't have virtual assisting experience because I couldn't afford to pay for someone who already had virtual assisting experience. Also, I wanted to be able to kind of train them how I wanted to do things. I also didn't feel like I had enough work for them to do I don't know. I just wanted someone without experience. I wanted someone who was fresh, and I also wanted somebody who could, who was already like a fan of my blog, I guess. So, and I just remembered, share this with your followers, please. I think this is going to be an awesome, there are a lot of people who really need this information. I get asked it all the time. So please share this with your followers. But anyway, so I ended up just posting it on my social media. I just posted, thanks, Prioritize Marriage. But I posted it on my social media and just said like, hey, I am looking to hire a virtual assistant. No virtual assisting experience required. And just kind of let it go from there. I just said, email me with the subject virtual assisting or virtual assistant, and tell me a little bit about who you are, and then we'll kind of go from there. Well, so this was, about 3 years ago, and I probably had 12 people email me. I mean, I thought that was like a huge deal that I would have that many people email me. And I ended up talking back and forth with probably 6 of them. And then after emailing back and forth, I was able to narrow it down to about 4. And then after that, I decided to do some Google Hangouts with them and do just kind of an informal interview a little bit to ask the type of things that I asked them was like, what time of the day would you have to work on this stuff? How much time do you want to work? How much time would you have to have to work? And, just lots of different questions like that. I also asked for personal references so you have to realize like the person that you are hiring really needs to be a trustworthy person, because chances are they're going to have access to a lot of your stuff. Like my virtual assistants have access to my emails, my Facebook, everything. And so you need to make sure that who you're hiring is a really decent person. So I asked for those personal references, and after doing those interviews, let's see. Oh, good. Hopefully you get it. But anyway, so I did the interviews, and afterwards I just really felt strongly about hiring this one girl. Her name was Markel, or is Markel. She isn't dead. Her name is Markel, and she was my assistant for 2 years, and she was amazing. She helped me start my newsletter. She did my Facebook, and she did my Twitter, and she was really, really good. And then she ended up having 2 more kids in those 2 years. She has 3 really young kids, and she ended up joining Beachbody and becoming amazing. She's an amazing Beachbody coach. So she decided that she didn't have time to focus on that anymore. And yes, oh my gosh, I cannot believe you guys don't have a newsletter. You need a newsletter in your life. But anyway, so then she was amazing, but then she had to step down, and at the time I was thinking about getting a second assistant as it was, so it was kind of perfect timing. So I went into this again and made my list of what all I needed done. I knew I wanted to hire someone else, but I didn't know exactly what I would want them to do. And so I made my list again and thought, okay, I'm going to hire 2 virtual assistants. I cannot believe I'm at this point. And so I posted on my social media again, went through those exact same things, only this time, you guys, I had probably 120 people apply. I was dying. I had no idea that I would have that many. I mean, literally, I went from about 12 the first time to like 120 people. And so I did a lot more intense interviewing this time. There were a lot of people, I just told them to like introduce themselves in the initial email, and there were a lot of people that, you know, a lot of typos, or just didn't really seem like if they needed to use my voice, it wouldn't sound like me. And so there were a lot that I could weed out each time. But since that was a much larger scale to choose from, what I had people do was I created different interviews basically on Google Docs, and I just did one of their, what did you even call them? I actually have like my Google Docs, like the surveys that you can fill out on there. What is that called? Google, I don't know, what is it? Anyway, you can like have them basically fill out like a form. Google Forms, ha ha ha, that's what it's called. So I created like a Google form on there. And it was basically like an interview. And I would just ask different things that I was curious about. I asked how many hours they wanted, if they had any experience with, like what their experience was like with Pinterest, or how they heard about me, how long they had read my blog. I mean, I had like tons of just random questions. But each time I did that twice. 2 times, and both of those times I was able to really narrow it down. Then at that point I decided to do the face-to-face interview through the Google Hangouts, and I had probably 8 at that point. And another thing I forgot to mention is each time that I would email the next group of people, I always gave them a deadline of when they had to have things back. So there were some people who, you know, would have been great candidates, but they didn't get their form back to me in time. And so I just had to cut them out. But you have to realize, like, you can't be, you have to be pretty strict about that, because you're wanting these people to stay on deadlines and stay on course when you actually hire them. And so that actually helped a lot to cut things back. There were probably like 10 people who didn't get things back to me in time, and so I just had to take them out. But and as you decide people that you definitely don't want, don't email them right away. Don't email them their like, thank you for applying, but we found this job for someone else kind of thing. Don't email that until you actually confirm that you have people, because if one of the people you offer it to for some reason can't do it, you still need these other candidates who would still be great, but maybe just not as good as this other person, but you still need those. So don't email them and tell them goodbye until you for sure have your virtual assistants chosen. Anyway, so I did those interviews and I had it down to 4 people, and you guys, guess what? I couldn't decide on just 2 people. And so I had to really, like, I wrote down their names on my on a Google sheet that's just a personal one for me, and I started writing down things that on each of them that I felt like they would be really awesome at, and then things that they would be maybe like number 1 awesome at, and then maybe like number 2 awesome at, and kind of like number it from there. And I actually ended up deciding to stay with all 4. So you guys, I have 4 virtual assistants. 4! I don't even have like that huge of a blog. I shouldn't even say that huge. I don't have that big of a blog at all. But you have to think about, yeah, it costs money, and yeah, it costs money. But guess what? Like, it gives me so much more time. Oh, you guys are nice. You guys are rock stars, Classy Clutter. But it gives me so much more time with my family. Like, my husband doesn't hate my blog anymore. Usually, he might. I don't know. He doesn't complain about it like he used to, because I have time to make dinner for my family now, and I sometimes clean my house, and I can like schedule literally, you guys, like, I was the crappiest mom in the whole world, and not that I'm like amazing now, but I have been able to spend more time with my daughter. So anyway, moving on. So I was able to choose those 4 people. So here are the things that I have them do. So I have one girl who does my newsletter, and each week I email her and tell her, like, I have an intro to my newsletter, and that is actually from me. So I email her and tell her, like, here's my intro, and it's always like just a short little like, hey Glambots, here's what I've been up to this week. Make sure to check me out on Instagram to find that other pictures or whatever, and then just say, kind of give them like a little idea of what's happening the next week, and then so she has that, and then I just tell her include these posts. My newsletter comes every other week, so I just say include this, like these posts in my newsletter. And then in my newsletter I also do 2 like bonus features. So one of them is, I've actually decided, since I have these 4 amazing assistants, I wanted them to have their face known a little more on my blog, where Markel, my first assistant, she was just like this ghost. Nobody knew she existed. And so I decided to have them, I wanted them to feel important and wanted them to know that I appreciated them. And so they have their own little feature at the bottom of my newsletter each time. They have their own little feature, and I just told them, like, choose something that you like, talk about one of your favorite things, maybe talk about a recipe that you tried, or a craft that you did, or some makeup that you bought, or whatever it is. But so I have one little spot down there that they're featured, and the girl who does the newsletter, she's 100% in charge of that. I don't even know what gets put on there until I see the draft for my newsletter. So she does that part. She gets all the scheduling done between all the assistants. And then on the other side, we'll do either like a bonus beauty tip, or a bonus free printable that's like, those things are only for the newsletter subscribers, or I'll do like a blast from the past of one of my old posts, something along those lines. But so she does all of that stuff for me. I just email her that initial, these are the things I want in there, and she like takes care of the rest. That same girl, actually, I just barely switched up. After the move, I decided to do some switching of responsibilities for my assistants. But now that same girl, you guys, this is like a dream come true. She edits all my pictures. I repeat, she edits all my pictures. I hate editing pictures. It takes me hours. And I think part of the problem is because I am so picky. I'm so picky. And I couldn't ever get it right, because guess what? I'm not a photographer. I have not taken like a million courses on it, and I was just sick and tired of taking so long to do it. And plus, I'll edit pictures while I watch Gilmore Girls, and so half the time I'm like, oh, I'll edit pictures. Oh, Lorelai, like, just paying attention to Gilmore Girls instead. So it's so much better to have her do it, because she can do it so much more efficiently. So anyway, so I have her edit all my pictures, and when I say all, usually, oh man, Lorelai and Luke forever. Gilmore Girls. But anyway, so when I say edit all my pictures, when I'm on top of my game, I have her edit all my pictures. If I am like just writing a post the day before, or even the day of that it needs to be up, then I actually have to edit my own pictures. Poor me. But I will, anyway, so usually if I'm on top of my game, I'll do it. I also have a feature on my blog called the Tutorial Gallery, and it just features like every tutorial I've ever done on my blog, or every video. I mean, basically like every content that is worth your while that is on my blog is all in this one tab. Well, it's a big fat pain in the butt to put together, because each post has to have its own little picture edited for it, and then it has to be linked to that. Anyway, it used to take me hours, and I would put it off and only do it like quarterly, and now she does it. And she does it like once a week, and so it stays up to date and it looks great. And the best part of all, I don't have to do it. So those are the, oh, I guess there's one other thing that this girl does a lot for me. Another thing that she does is she submits all of my content to the Gawker sites, like Craft Gawker, Style Gawker, Dwelling Gawker, Food Gawker, whatever. There's Wedding Gawker, but I don't do anything wedding. So that's what Kristen is her name. That's what Kristen does. The next one is Maggie, and I have her do all of my social media stuff. So she does Facebook and Twitter for me, and then also she'll do a little Stumble Upon. So she goes on, she'll see what posts I have coming up that week, and she'll go on and schedule all of my Facebook and Twitter saying like, hey, got a new blog post, here it is, here's a link to it. She's who does all of that for me. And then I also like to feature other people's stuff, which I have kind of like slacked on these last few weeks with moving, but she'll also schedule that in like once or twice a day, just give like another blogger a shout out on there. So she does those for me, and she'll also stumble those posts that she is sharing. And then Tammy is my godsend. She's amazing. So she, if you aren't a part of different Facebook groups that are like different tribes, I guess, is like the technical term for blogging, you should be a part of them. Like different groups that you can share each other's stuff. Well, here's the problem with those groups. They take forever. They take a lot of time out of your day each day. And I found myself, spending like a good 2 hours on some of those every day. And part of it's probably because I'm like ADD and I can't just do one thing at a time. I was probably watching Gilmore Girls at the same time. But, so I have her do all of those Facebook groups for me. She goes in and there's like one just for Stumble Upon. She'll put my new Stumble Upon or my new blog post on there, and then she'll go and stumble everybody's stuff on that. Or put like a Google Plus link on there. She actually posts all of my stuff that's on Google Plus. She'll share it on my Google Plus account as well. And then, she'll do it on the Google Plus account, and that I'm on, I'm just like in an Idaho blogger group, and she'll post it in the Idaho blogger group, and there's like a million of them, but she does all those Facebook groups for me. She also is my Pinterest scheduler girl, and she will schedule all my pins. I use Viral Tag to schedule all my pins, and you guys, if you don't use Viral Tag, you need to do it. Hearts for Viral Tag. It's the bomb. But she schedules all my pins on there, and then she also schedules other people's stuff on there. Really, here's a little secret, guys. I don't really spend time on Pinterest. I don't have time to spend time on Pinterest. I never go on Pinterest. But, Viral Tag is life changing. So, hashtag hearts for Viral Tag. But, which P.S. you guys, I realized that I decided to do this right during the Tonight Show. What's wrong with me? Jimmy Fallon's like my boyfriend, and I'm missing it to do this for you guys. But I do have it DVR'd because Keenan and Kel are on tonight. Anyway, so I have her do all of my Pinterest scheduling. And then I'm also in some different Pinterest groups, and she'll schedule all of those on there. She also does stumbling. She stumbles all my own stuff. And then she went back. She's a saint. She went back and added affiliate links on a bunch of my old posts. If I forget to do affiliate links, I'll tell her the post, and she'll go look things up for me and add affiliate links to a bunch of my posts. She's a saint. And then I also, Classy Clutter, shout out to you guys. I went to their class at Snap, and they talked about having a Google Doc to have URLs to all of your posts, and then to say what category they fall under and all that stuff. Well, I haven't done that. I've been blogging for 5 years now, so there's a good chunk of blog posts to do, and you guys, Tammy did all of that all of that. And it's been amazing because she is my Pinterest scheduler. She can go on there and like just barely, I wanted her to schedule all of my old Halloween content. And so I am like, she just went right back on there. I know, go Tammy, go. So she went on there and like looked up, she was able to just like look up Halloween, and then all of my Halloween posts popped up, and then she just scheduled those all in to recirculate those old Halloween posts. So she's literally a saint, and you can't have her because I love her so much. And then last but not least is Ashley, and she does all of the link parties. So I don't link to that many link parties, but I do think that they are really beneficial, and yes, it is so worth the time to get organized. It really is. It really is. And if you don't want to do it, hire someone to do it for you. But so if you can be featured on those link parties, on those blogs who do the link parties, it's totally worth it. You found me from a link party. What link party was it? And what post? I'm really curious. So then she'll go and she does all the link parties. And I know they take forever. They take forever. And the dumb thing about it is it only takes like 5 minutes per link party. But you have to like be a crazy person. I always said that I felt like I was trying to get tickets to like a Justin Bieber concert to try to get like in the top few, like on tater tots and jello, because it would just be like, it's 6 o'clock, I need to hurry, sorry family, I know we're in the middle of dinner, but I've got to go link, you know. It was just like ridiculous. So I yes, save all of your URLs in the doc, and it's so much faster. Listen to Classy Clutter, they know their crap. So anyway, so I have her do that. She also, Creative Collection on Fridays, that's theirs. I know you guys are with are you guys with Rebecca? It's the same one, right? I know I told her to link to that one. I hope she's linking to yours. But I think she goes on Crafted Sparrow to do it. Okay, sorry. I should have her go on yours though. You need you should get the page views, right? Don't tell Rebecca I said that. Anyway, so anyway, she does all of those. She also is like doing this creative lettering course, and she's amazing. I know, I love Rebecca too. So and she's amazing. So I actually am having her starting to do like some graphics for me and some printables, and I think it'll be really fun. I'm not like I do a lot of printables on my blog, but they're usually things that I do with my daughter, so they're like more preschool oriented printables, not a ton of home decor printables, but I'll probably start doing more with Ashley because she's amazing. So those are the things that I have her do. Actually, she's like super OCD when it comes to Pinterest. So one thing I did have her do was I had her go through my entire Pinterest, everything. She reorganized all my boards, made everything look so pretty, and she was awesome at doing that. So those are the things that I have had them do. Sorry, that was like super long-winded, but I wish that someone would have told me these things. So I hope that it's beneficial to you guys. And then, oh yeah, the $1 million question. And oh, I know, you should see my Pinterest. It's pretty. It's pinterest.com/MackenzieG, McKenzieg. And is how much do you pay them? Or how do you know what to pay them? So I decided that I could handle paying my assistants, especially where I was going to be hiring 4 of them. I decided that I could pay them $10 an hour. And I have them all, they each have their own Google Doc, and I just tell them to round to the nearest quarter of an hour. And so they, whether that be up or down, I feel like it all kind of evens out in the end. So they will go on there and just say, like, Kristen, for example, she'll be like, newsletter. I'll just tell her, like, say the date, what you were doing, and how long it took you. So she'll be like, January 4th, newsletter, an hour, or however long it takes her to do it. And then at the end of the month, I pay them on the first of every month. So then I just go and look, add it all up, pay them on PayPal, and then we're good to go. And obviously, like, some months are going to be different than others. I actually could look on this really quick. Sorry. I could look on this and tell you kind of like how much I've paid some of them in the past. Like the last month, I've been moving and haven't really had a ton for them to do because I haven't posted that much, but like I paid one of them $105, one was like $16, one was $10. So like last month, not that much, but like when they were working on that URL list and stuff, one of them was $235, one was $55, one was $15, and one was $44. So like, and that's for the entire month. So yeah, sometimes it's more like in June I paid $62, $83, $127, and $110. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much they're working a little bit. Most of them are working anywhere between like 3 hours to 20 hours in a month, just depending on the month. If you have a big project like that URL list, obviously you're going to be paying more for it. Or reorganizing your entire Pinterest boards, like you're going to pay more for that, but it's so worth it. I'm so glad that this is helpful. Let's see if there was anything else. I was going to look. So I love Google Docs. I actually just recently decided I have this folder that I was looking at. This is my blog planner, and this is like I just put everything, like all of my blog posts are on here. And this is my editorial calendar. And I just like to have it so I can actually write it down and I can erase. But I started doing it on a Google Calendar as well. And so then I gave them access to that, and then they each have their own individual calendars. And then I just go on there and let's see, I'll pull it up right now. I just go on there and here, I will just show it to you. How about? Let me just switch this real quick. So if you can look at this, so these red ones are all my blog posts. And then on here, it's like, this says link up, Gawker, schedule Twitter and Facebook, share to Facebook groups, pin, stumble upon. So they all have access to this red one, which is just my regular editorial calendar. But then like this orange one, this is Ashley's. The pink one is Kristen's, the blue one is Maggie's, and the green one is Tammy's. And so they each have these, so then they look and they're like, oh, Vanilla P. Von Schweet's costume. Which, P.S., you guys, if you haven't checked out that costume that I posted today, go do it right now because it's so cute. Well, actually, maybe wait till after this. But you have to go look at it and then pin it because it's so cute. Anyway, so then they can look at this and they can click on it. And then I load on here the direct URL so that anyone, like whatever they have to do with it, the URL is already there for them. They can click on this and then it pulls up my main image for that post. So then like Maggie was able to post it on my Facebook. She already had all of that on there. So then anyway, I just barely started doing this week with the Google Calendar, and it's already made a huge difference because before I was writing them individual emails saying like, here's everything that I need done for the week and here are all the URLs to it, and it was just taking forever. And then I don't ever post on Sundays, but what I do on Sundays is I just post like other random things that I'll be needing them to do throughout the week. This doesn't mean it's due that day or anything. It just is like, hey, here are the other things I need you to do this week. So I have like make Halloween printable, edit photos, create an email that I need done. So anyway, that just kind of gives of how I do all that and how I kind of communicate with them in the best way. That's taken me like a long time to figure out how to best like utilize my time that way. but it's so worth it to, sorry, I'm just trying to look for this. It's so worth it to hire virtual assistants. It is so worth your money. If you have any questions about virtual assisting, now is the time to ask. But that's pretty much it for this. Give me some hearts if you liked it, and I hope that this helped you. But really, it all comes down to what I started it with. Do your best, hire the rest. So if you love to do certain things, don't hire that out, because that will take your joy away. And if you hate doing certain things, like, hire that, keep what you want. And whether that be cleaning your house, if you need to hire a babysitter once a week, or if you just need it all to be virtual assistants, do it. But hiring out is so worth your time. And I've felt like my page views have gone up. Obviously when I am actually posting this summer and this move, I shouldn't make excuses, but you guys, I pretty much was not a good blogger. So thanks for any of you sticking around this summer, because it was rough. But it's so worth it to hire people. One thing I guess I didn't mention is, yes, I do hire. I told you what I pay them, but I did tell them that I would give them raises. So I didn't hire them saying yes, this is what you're gonna make for the rest of your life. I'm gonna treat it as a very individual basis. So I feel like if someone is giving their all and they deserve some money, I will give them that raise that they deserve. So make sure that you're the boss that you wish that you had. And I make sure to send, which I actually realized the other day that I moved on my assistant's birthday, and I totally forgot to send her something on one of my assistants. And yeah, assistants are life-changing. But send them birthday gifts, send them Christmas gifts. Tell them how appreciative you are of everything that they do, because they really are doing you a huge favor. But that's it for me.